friends, thank you so much for clicking on this video. I'm Brett and I so appreciate you being here today. So for today's video, we are going to tackle the question, is Hereditary actually scary? So if you guys don't know what Hereditary is this new A24 horror film that is causing a whole bunch of buzz. Critics are calling it one of the scariest movies ever made, and that it might rank being up there with like Rosemary's Baby and The Exorcist. What's weird is it did really well at the box office this past weekend. I believe it made about 13 million, right around there. But the cinema score grade, which is the audience polls, they gave it a D+ rating. That is terrible. So what's the deal with it? You can watch so many reviews on this film. I'm not gonna go into that because I just decided, hey, let's switch it up and just talk about the question that I keep getting asked is it scary? Here's the answer for you. It depends on what you find scary. So I'm sorry, that's the most stupid, annoying, subjective answer in the world. I can speak for myself and say that I did not find Hereditary particularly scary. I feel like I have something, if I have something on my nose, I'm sweating like a freak. Excuse me. So Hereditary for me was not so much purely scary as it is just deeply unsettling and disturbing. So for those of you guys who don't know the general logline of it, it's basically about this family that's grieving the loss of the grandma. After her death, her family starts noticing weird things happening around the house. That's as pure and basic as you can get without spoiling anything, and I highly urge you guys to go see this movie for many reasons, but I don't want to get into really like what kinds of, I guess, horror elements are in here. I can say though that director, writer Ari Aster did such a great job of making a film that is first really about grief and loss and how people cope with mourning. So it's psychological in the sense of people are dealing with how can we cope with the death of somebody that we love or somebody that we're estranged from in the same sense, because not everybody in this family was super close to grandma. Because you have this basic foundation of these characters that we really care about, we are worried about their mental state as well as what's happening to them or could potentially be happening to them in the house. You have this added sense of weight and gravity. If you're somebody who identifies a lot with horror movies and characters and the psychology of characters, I think you will find this very disturbing and unsettling as well. This is not a spoiler, but going into what happens in the film is there's a lot of, I guess, supernatural elements happening. If you find supernatural horror movies scary, you might find this scary as well. It's weird because I saw this 2 different times. The first group of people, horror aficionados that love everything about the horror genre. Nobody in my group except a couple people were extremely like terrified from it. I know that some people did actually feel like they were gonna throw up, and then the second time I saw it too, somebody else said that they felt like they were gonna throw up the whole time. And it's just because it's tense the whole way through. It is over 2 hours of dread building upon dread upon dread. How you respond to supernatural horror is how you're going to take the images in this film. If you're afraid of gory movies, this movie isn't incredibly gory. There are a couple of violent moments that are absolutely shocking, but there's not going to be really gratuitous, disgusting violence that's gonna make your head spin off. Also, let's address the fact that jump scares cease to exist in this movie. So I would say it follows in the same line as if you look at The Babadook or It Follows, where those are movies that are just purely psychological, that take storytelling and character building very seriously and do not feel the need for jump scares or cheap scares to shock or scare you. They're just going for emotional storytelling that's going to grab you and make you afraid because you care about these people and what happened to them. Shout out to Toni Collette and Alex Wolff. They are going gung-ho with their performances, absolutely gut-wrenching. I was astonished by every single moment of them. Okay, so if Hereditary is not really that scary in my opinion, how does it rank in comparison with the modern horror classics that people are talking about? And I'm going to call to mind the films Babadook and It Follows, because those are the 2 that I tend to hear over and over by people as being some of the best horror movies of the past decade, if not the past couple of decades. Babadook and It Follows are both great movies that I did not find that scary either. I think Babadook is a really beautiful story. It follows his style for days, and I would say that Hereditary is sort of a cross between the two, where emotionally you're hooked by it. It's visually stunning and just a lot of odd camera choices and angles that are just meant to put you on edge. And Ari Aster, you can tell he's definitely like an amazing director with a very keen eye, a great sense of sound design. But I would say that even though these are great horror classics that definitely belong in the pantheon of great horror movies, none of these are that scary to me. I'm gonna be really basic and say the last horror movie that actually scared me was the first Conjuring. That was a movie that I think blended really well, you know, crowd pleasing, horror, thrills, and shocks. You got a lot of great jump scares, but also there's just a sustained sense of dread in the whole movie in a way that's very disturbing, more so than Babadook, It Follows, Hereditary. Yeah, I would say that The Conjuring 1 is still the scariest movie of the past decade. So to sum it up here, Hereditary, great movie, wonderfully directed, excellent performances. It is scary in the sense that it's frightening to think about what you can inherit from your family, either genetically or literally. It's scary to think about that concept when you probe into it, but it's not gonna be a movie that's gonna give you nightmares, I don't think. I think you'll sleep just fine. You'll definitely be thinking about it, and you're gonna want to see the movie with people so you can talk about this ending that packs a wallop. So now I have to turn it over to you guys. What did you think of Hereditary? Was it the scariest movie that you've seen in the past couple of years, or did you not think it was scary and did you hate it? Drop a comment in the comment section below and let me know what you thought of Hereditary. And also, I would love to hear, what do you think is the scariest movie of the decade? That would be great. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. And I'm thinking of doing a couple more videos like this that are non-reviews that answer specific questions that I've been getting a lot. I don't know if you like this style of video that's not necessarily a review, but just diving into something more specific. Let me know that too. But thank you so much for watching, you guys. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you guys at the movies.